I've got my fairy dust flight attendant scarf on, so it helps accentuate the story a bit better. Today I'm going to tell you Emotional Support Animal Day. So the craziest emotional support animals that I had were a snake, which thankfully did not get free. I think there's a JetBlue flight where the snake falls out of the overhead bin. Slightly terrifying. Yeah, and I had an emotional support tarantula. And guess who sat next to somebody who had the emotional support tarantula? They were sitting next to somebody that had a case of arachnophobia, like an actual screaming fit case of arachnophobia. So that was fun. And I totally understood him because this tarantula was like I still have dreams about that tarantula. It's pretty bad. My favorite story was Minneapolis to Cleveland. It was just Minneapolis, Cleveland, Minneapolis. And the fun fact about Minneapolis is that actually we have a lot of turkeys out here that not a lot of people know about, like wild turkeys. Like you'll just see them on the freeway. It's kind of cool, actually, to be honest with you. And if you ever stay at the Holiday Inn in Eagan, there's a whole turkey group, hurdle, I don't know what they're called, crowd, kind of like down in the ravine, and so you can hear them, and it's just the cutest little thing. So anyway, so yeah, we've got a lot of turkeys in Minneapolis. So gate agent, one of my favorites that I worked with, she was like, "You're not going to believe the emotional support animal that you have on today." And I was like, if it's not the tarantula, I kind of don't care at this point, because I had a tarantula with somebody who's like an arachnic. I don't know what you'd actually call those. But yeah, I was like, honestly, dude, it was gross. And the weird thing is, going back to the tarantula, like the passenger fed the tarantula like our cookies. Anyway, oh God, the tarantula got up on its hind legs and was eating the bisque off. And he was like, "Oh, you're such a good boy." And I was like, oh my God, this person is I mean, granted, I don't know, maybe they're Spider-Man. I have no idea. Anyway, so going back to my Tuesday before Thanksgiving flight, I am in the main cabin, and I'm just kind of doing my little, walking through and closing the bins, and then the flight attendant in the front is doing service, and I will never forget this, because all of a sudden you hear, the flight attendant kind of she perks up, she's got her tray, and then so her and I lock eyes. She's in first, I'm in economy, and I'm like, what? And we're thinking, did a turkey get on the tarmac? Where is the turkey? And then you hear, so the flight attendant turns around and she looks back at me and she's like, "It's a turkey." She mouths it. And I was like, oh my God, this was the emotional support animal that the gate agent was telling us about. And so the turkey's kind of wobbling along down the aisle. And I don't know why it never made it to the news, because the story is kind of hilarious. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving and you have an emotional support turkey. Okay. And so around its little neck was the tiniest piece of yarn, and then somebody had tied a little piece of yarn to that. And so they were walking their turkey. I don't know. And it was surprisingly the very last row of economy was empty for whatever reason, just the two seats. I guess probably just somebody didn't show. This comes in handy later. So the guys sit down. They're the nicest passengers you've ever, hi. I was like, oh my God, is that an emotional support turkey? That's so weird. Let me pet it. And it was just this little, just jacked up turkey. Where am I? This is amazing. You know how turkeys are. And so I'm looking at it, and it's a wild turkey. And it's, so I'm like, oh, okay. The turkey's kind of cool. So I'm thinking, well, maybe this is actually an emotional support turkey. Maybe this is a legit pet, right? So So we taxi out, the engines start up. There's not really a whole lot of noise when the engines start up. And so then you just hear the, you know, just like in the jump seat way in the back, you can just kind of hear the turkey like kind of getting excited. And it's a short flight to Cleveland. It's like an hour out of Minnie, like an hour and a half. And so we take off, and I think the revving up the engine and then just how loud it gets in the cabin freaked the turkey out. So then the turkey starts flapping its wings everywhere, and you just start, and it's just going all the way. Oh my God, it was insane. So I'm actually like laughing so hard that I'm crying. But the thing is, this turkey is starting to like jump on other people because I think it's trying to escape the fact that it's in this giant metal tube. So then it like runs up the aisle, and then it kind of like flaps its wings around, and then like kind of halfway flies down the aisle, and then sort of like stops, and then like turns around, and then the owners are like trying to, you know, grab it with this makeshift leash it has. And so we're still on takeoff. So it's like, everybody sit down, like just let the turkey be. Because you can't stand up below a certain altitude because it's too dangerous at this point. So the turkey's just going everywhere. It's just flipping and flopping. And so we're above 10, so the stereo light goes off. So then I was like, you can now attempt to like grab your turkey, because it's like pausing, and then it like walks up the aisle, and then it'll flap its wings, and then it starts screaming. And so then these two guys are trying to grab this darn turkey, and they're having a horrible job. Like one guy like tries to actually tackle it, because I think it was like a brother duo. And so one guy tries to tackle it, turkey goes under, and now the turkey cannot control its bowels. So it's like somehow, I don't know how, we got turkey poop on the overhead bin. Like, I don't even know what position the turkey butt had to be like angled to get poop on the overhead bin. But we're just watching this, and we're like, everyone's laughing / somewhat terrified about this turkey. This poor guy had like poop on his shoulder. There was poop all over the carpet. It's screaming the entire time. So you just hear, you know, just like up and down the aisle. And so finally we kind of like cornered it, and we sort of like, we got it into the back galley. Basically that's what I remember. I remember that we like found a way to get it to the very back of the airplane. And if we had turned the lights off in the galley, the turkey was calm. And so I was like, we got him in there, and I was like, guard it here. And there was like a little portal that you could see through to like the cabin. So we closed that, turned off all the lights, and then I just closed the curtain, and we left the turkey in there for the rest of the flight. So, yeah. So that's my Thanksgiving story. So, yeah. Moral of that story, don't bring emotional support turkeys onto airplanes. Although they were an absolute hoot. I will say that the gentlemen that brought the turkey on were hilarious. So, I mean, there's, I guess, some good in that. But, yeah, just don't do it. Anyway, so yeah, so there you go. So that's my Thanksgiving turkey poop stories. So I'll see you guys in the next video.